Good evening, East Brunswick community. This is Victor Valeski, Superintendent of Schools. That's probably what you hear on the phone a lot, right? Well, I'm glad you're here in person. So tonight, to open the festivities, the activities, we have the pleasure of the Frost Chorus under the direction of Miss Amanda Ryan. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Thanks, Ross Porras. That's not all we have for you tonight. You didn't come just to see me. So behind the curtain, we have the high school Bella Voce under the direction of Mr. Zachary Gates, Mr. Gregory Jones. And if you listen to any of my reports throughout this school year, they appeared at Carnegie Hall earlier this year. So it is my pleasure to introduce Bella Voce. Voce. Thank you very much. Another round of applause. Now we're going to reset the stage for a second and bring the light up the center screen. If you would all join me for the Star Spangled Banner with the virtual choir. It is absolutely awesome that we have nearly a full house tonight, or at least close to. Let me give you a little background about Virtual Choir. That was funded through a grant from the EDEF, the Educational Foundation, and there are 172 individual student voices you heard in that choir production under the direction of a virtual conductor who happened to be Mr. Zachary Gates. They've also just today released a virtual the alumni song, the school song. So that's been done. That will be released soon. So I want to share with you what we've been doing over the last year. Now, I got to tell you, I started this in 2014, so this is my third presentation. And I'm not sure if superintendents age in dog years or not. But I will tell you that 2 weeks ago, we celebrated at my house my mom's 86th birthday, and she's doing very well. She came up to me during the party and grabbed my cheeks and looked me in my face, and she said, "When did you get to be so old?" And I'm really concerned about my mom now because obviously she's confused me with one of my brothers. So if you were here last year, this slide at the very top said, "Creating our blueprint for success." And so we've done that. We created the blueprint. This year, we implemented. Now this seal says a lot. We are a nationally recognized school district. And you can tell from the quality of students we have in our district, this small sampling of the Frost group, Bella Voce from the high school, we have phenomenal students. But we also have phenomenal staff. We couldn't do what we do every day without the teachers in the classroom. So if you're a teacher in this room, would you please stand up? You will hear me use the term "we" a lot tonight. We did this, we planned this, we implemented this. There are a lot of people behind the "we." In addition to the teachers, we have a very talented administrative staff. If you're an administrator in the school district, will you please stand? one body of people that deserve special recognition. They are the people who are elected to serve as school board members. They put in countless hours of volunteer, non-compensated time. And they are committed to providing the best opportunities educationally, socially, culturally, that we can possibly provide for every one of your children. And so with that, I'd like to introduce our current Board of Education. Board President Todd Simmons is traveling on business today, and I'm not going to ask you to stand unless you want to stand. You can throw your hand up in the air. Vice President Vicki Becker. Mary Shaw. Lori Lax. Susanna Chu. Barbara Reese. Robert Pancra. Lee Hung. And Chad Sheila. I want to thank you personally for everything you do to support me, because I couldn't do my job without your support. And I will let you in on a little secret. 2 years ago, you know all the snow calls, right? So there was a time 2 years ago that I made a call that we were going to close school before the first flake of snow ever hit the ground. And so I texted the board late at night and I said, if this doesn't go well, I'll be working the drive-up window at Wendy's. They were gracious enough to text me back, every one of them to text me back their orders from Wendy's. So I was told tonight, if this doesn't go well, Wendy's is still an option. The last thing I want to mention about this seal is we can't do what we do without the families in this community. Everything we do needs family support. We need you to be a partner with us in the education of your children. And you know how powerful that is when that connection's made. When that connection with your teacher, with your building administrator is made, great things happen. So that partnership is so critical to us. Let me just run some numbers for you real quick about East Brunswick Public Schools. In case you don't know, we're the only district in the state of New Jersey with 11 blue ribbon schools. We are the 29th largest school district in the state. Niche.com ranked us the 7th best school district in New Jersey this year. We are ranked 25th best public high school by New Jersey Monthly Magazine. Over 60% of our certificated staff hold advanced degrees. And what we launched last year with our EBHS to Middlesex County College Pathways program, we had students earn nearly 3,400 college credits this year alone. That's phenomenal. Over 9 million instructional hours are delivered each year, and we're the largest employer in East Brunswick. So when it comes to partnerships, we have to talk about our other partnerships too. We have a partnership with our East Brunswick Education Association led by Dr. Dana Zimbicki. Similarly, we have a partnership with the East Brunswick Principals and Supervisors Association led by Mr. Andrew Scanlon. Our PTAs are critical to the success of our schools. We had a breakfast with the PTA President's Council led by Lindsay Dobrinsky, and those ladies and one gentleman for next year, put in phenomenal amounts of time to deliver programs and activities at each of the schools that really round out the education for every one of your children. The East Brunswick Education Foundation, led by Mr. Jack Levitt, and a committee of people that are just committed to providing funding for grants for teachers that directly go to the benefit of students. Next school year, they will surpass $2 million in grants to East Brunswick Public Schools. Obviously, we are critical partners with the Township of East Brunswick. And the township is now led by Mayor Brad Cohen, who I saw right down here. And I'm always confused if it's Mayor Doctor or Dr. Mayor, but we're probably the only township where you can pay your taxes and get an exam at the same time. We also have the East Brunswick Police Department. Chief Joe Conroy and his team have been critical partners with us as we maintain a safe environment of all of our schools. He's a gentleman that literally, if I call him on the phone, he answers me right away. He's one of the few people that takes my calls. So let's talk about the critical pillars of East Brunswick Public Schools, starting with academics. And I'm just going to give you some highlights. This year we have 17 National Merit Scholarship finalists, 27 students graduating with highest honors. That means near the podium at graduation is going to be really full this year. 50 National Merit Scholarship commended students, 134 inductees into the National Honor Society this year, so the total membership is 252. 321 presidential awards for academic excellence. This year, we will graduate 698 students at the Trenton Sun Bank Center. This year was a good year for East Brunswick in athletics. In the Red Division champions, we had boys cross country in the fall, we had girls soccer, girls volleyball, boys bowling, girls swimming, and baseball. In the GMC champions, we had girls volleyball, girls soccer, girls swimming, boys bowling. In the sectional champions, boys bowling. Central Jersey Group 4 champions, boys bowling. Overall tournament of champions, guess who that was? Boys bowling. Bowling was the team to be on this year, and they did a phenomenal job. And of course, represented tonight, the arts. We have one student musician qualified for all National Music Ensemble. 2 students placed 4th and 5th in the New Jersey Congressional Art Competition. 4 student musicians qualified for the All Eastern Music Ensembles. 25 student musicians qualified for the All-State Music Ensembles. 65 students qualified for the CJMEA Regional Music Ensemble. 66 students in the Tri-M Music Honor Society. Bella Voce and the EBHS Concert Choir performed at Carnegie Hall, and the EBHS Chamber Orchestra and the Churchill Junior High School Advanced Orchestra and the EBHS Concert Choir performed at the NAFME All-Eastern Conference. We could be here all night talking about the accolades our students win, so these are just the highlights. So, obviously over the last 2 years, you've noticed that we have changed the way our schools look and operate. We have school security officers in all of our schools. When you come into our schools, there's a procedure you follow. And this Board of Education is committing and has committed the resources to make all of that happen. I'll tell you, it's changed the culture in our buildings. The staff feels safer, the students feel safer, and I hope you as parents and constituents believe we are safer too. But we are constantly looking at ways to improve that safety. And there's technology that goes behind everything we do. When you walk into a building, you have to go through a security vestibule. And once you get in there, in order to get passed into the building, there are certain protocols and checks you go through to make sure there are no issues to get into the building. Buildings are monitored by security surveillance, and we are going to require all employees wear an ID badge that will have electronic access to areas where they're permitted to go. Even the East Brunswick Bear has to wear an ID. So when I started in 2014, one of the things I was passionate about was making sure we took a look at how we address problems and issues. And so we created this EQB equation, which is kind of a takeoff of East Brunswick. But we need to examine our current condition for every problem that we have. We need to explore opportunities to improve students' experiences in academics, the arts, athletics, or any element impacting the culture of our schools and offices. And that is a supreme commitment from not only me personally, but from this Board of Education. One of the things that was changed about this mantra this year was adding the component to improve students' experiences. It's not about just making a nice place, a nice building, having pretty colors, having a great parking lot. What do the students get from it? We're here for the students. That's what we do. That's what we're passionate about. And we want every student to leave East Brunswick Public Schools with that feeling that they had the best possible opportunities they could ever have in a public school setting. And you know, when students leave us, they tell us all the time how well prepared they were to go off and do whatever they wanted to do, whether that be college, immediate career, maybe the military. They are prepared. And we have a great staff and great family commitment and great leadership from our policymakers to thank for that. Engage all the appropriate stakeholders in a consensus decision for improvement. And finally, benchmark the results with data from a standard, something that makes sense so we can measure it. So I think we've done pretty well. And I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about strategic planning. I don't know if there were any of you who were here in January of 2015. If you were, could you raise your hands? Did anybody come? So we had a session, a board meeting here at Hammersholt after a big snowstorm in January, and over 400 people arrived to give us their feedback on strategic planning. We collected over 1,800 Post-it notes with individual comments or suggestions, and we cataloged each and every one of them. The Board of Education then divided up into committees with board membership and membership from the community, and they digested all of that information, and with consensus decision-making, they developed priorities that were turned into goals for the school district. And I'm pleased to report to you tonight that we have met those goals. We looked in areas of curriculum and assessment, facilities, extracurricular school logistics. I'm missing one. And child nutrition. So we're going to talk about each of these for just a second. Curriculum and assessment. World language was reintroduced in 4th and 5th grade this year. Homework is constantly being assessed in terms of how much homework, the quality of homework, when homework is being given, in conjunction with holidays, religious observances, breaks in school. We'll talk about the Middlesex enrollment in just a little bit. Facilities. We're in the process right now of air conditioning both Frost and Warrensdorfer. When they are completed this summer, all 8 elementary schools will be completely air conditioned. And we're going to air condition the gymnasium and the junior high school. The Board of Education has begun initial conceptual, like what's our plan for replacing or fixing up Bound Monroe School, which is an aging building? And do we do anything with our high school? And what kind of forecast do we have for that? There hasn't been anything decided. It's just, these are topics that are open for discussion over the next year. And we know we have some parent drop-off and some staff parking issues at some of our schools. The most critical of those are Warrensdorfer Elementary and Frost Elementary. I used to call Hardenberg Lane by Warrensdorfer Pit Road because parents, as they pull in and pull out, it's just one lane. And so we're working and have a plan and design to fix that problem. The design is done, we still have to schedule the actual construction. Extracurricular. More clubs at elementary schools and Hammersholt Middle School. We heard this from the community, and the board responded with funding in the budget to create more activities and more clubs. And as we implement more clubs, we want more school and student choice. So obviously, if there's something running that students have an interest in, we want to be able to offer that to more students or offer it more frequently. So we're going to look at that adjustment as we see what kind of interest we have for the clubs that are going to be implemented. There was an interest in creating 8th grade baseball at Churchill Junior High School, and that was done. Child nutrition. When I came to the district in 2014, the board had just initiated a contract with Aramark, and they had, in conjunction with our own staff, Aramark managed the process. And so we have really improved the food quality, the product delivery, the variety, and I think most students you would talk to would say they like lunch in their schools. The students in elementary school, those who are going on to Hammersholt really like the fact that when they come here for the first tour, the Hammersholt food looks a lot better than the elementary food. Obviously, yes, okay. But there is, if you go on the website, you can see videos of the types of food, the actual video of the lines, what's being offered. And we're putting information out for parents to show you not only nutritional values, but what kinds of things are being offered. And I will tell you, the Aramark staff, in addition to the district staff, is very responsive to adjusting to students' wants, needs, preferences. And so when students like something, they take notice. When they don't like something, you usually start to see the menu change a little bit. Quality control, obviously. I can tell you that things, especially at the high school, it's like eating at a food court in a mall. It's awesome. School logistics, transportation. We know that we have to try to figure out a way to make our transportation more efficient. As costs go up, how do we deliver our students and how do we take them back home in the most efficient, safest manner? And so we've been working on opportunities to grid the township and create sectors so that we're transporting to a sector and back from a sector rather than transversing throughout the township. Operational efficiency and consistency. We wanted our elementary schools to look like similar educational institutions. Now I'm going to be a little confusing for a second. We want every one of our elementary students to have similar experiences. You've heard the term, your zip code shouldn't define what kind or what quality of education you get. Well, where you go to school in East Brunswick in elementary school should determine who gets a better education. So we really have worked hard on that, but yet we want to maintain each individual elementary school's identity. Because no matter where you go, no matter where I go and talk to students, they love their schools. They love their elementary school, they love junior high school and middle school, and they will eventually love high school. But they love their schools. We heard from the community about back to school nights. And I'm going to pick on Dr. Cohen for a second because in 2014, he and I made an effort to go to every single back to school night. And we were racing across the township, going from school to school, going to the multi-purpose rooms, going in and saying a few words, then across to the next. We were trying to stage this thing so we could make it happen. And what we found out was parents really didn't care about us being in the multi-purpose room. They wanted to see their teachers. So that's what we did. That's what we're going to do. we are going to push back to school night into the classrooms, and a video will be produced. John McMiniman, who's in the booth back there, who's been directing all this stuff, he loves making videos. John shaking his head, yeah, I love making videos. So we will make a short, potentially an 8-minute video. It'll give parents an overview of what's going on in the district, some critical things, but then you spend time with your teachers, and that's what we heard over and over again. And the board asked us to look at our pre-K program, and how did it work, or how does it look against other pre-K programs in surrounding areas. And I'm pleased to report that we investigated every pre-K program that is servicing children in our surrounding community. Our program has the most rigor, and it is the most academically aligned curriculum of anyone. So I'm very, very pleased with that. I talked earlier about the EBHS MCC Pathways program. We talked about this in this very program last year that we were going to implement this. And then over the summer, we met with Middlesex County College. And there was a lot of work that was done. There was work that was done to align the curriculum, to make sure the curriculum of the courses offered at East Brunswick High School were of college level. We had the deans from Middlesex County College visit us, and along with Dr. Ogden, review all of our curricular areas. Debbie Gulick, who heads our instructional department and curriculum department, worked alongside them to adjust and tweak. We had 35 of our talented staff members who hold master's degree get adjunct status with Middlesex County College, and they taught these courses, which are college-level courses right here at East Brunswick High School. Those 35 individuals taught 39 unique college courses, which equated to that almost 3,400 college credits that I talked about earlier. So for parents who wanted to spend $200 for a 3 or 4 credit course, they could get that college credit, and that college credit could be applied to an associate's degree at Middlesex County College, or it can be transferred to another institution. And if it goes to a New Jersey institution, there's a very, very strong likelihood, there's a requirement actually, that if you're a public New Jersey institution, you have to accept the credits. So if you're not getting an associate's degree, you're at least working towards credits towards your diploma somewhere else. What we really wanted to do, we wanted to give every student an opportunity to have the college experience. We wanted students who are actually doing college level work here in East Brunswick High School, East Brunswick schools, to be able to get credit for it. And so this year, that was highly successful. We're not trying to replace AP courses. They have a place. And a lot of our students are still taking the AP exams, and they're taking and getting credit for courses that way. But this is another vehicle for students to acquire college credit. And from a parent perspective, down the road, a couple of years from now, we may have our first student who will graduate from East Brunswick Public Schools and receive an associate's degree from Middlesex County College at the same time. That is extremely possible in the next 2 or 3 years. Now, from a parent perspective, think about that. Think about the cost savings to either your child or to you for having a community college 2-year platform to jump off to a 4-year institution, and the savings that can be pocketed. So you potentially may be able to acquire a bachelor's degree and a graduate degree for the same amount of money that you originally thought you were going to spend for a bachelor's, or a little bit more. But that's where we're headed. We have 80 of our students this year, seniors graduating, who have demonstrated expertise in a foreign language by either speaking, reading, and writing. And they're going to receive the New Jersey Seal of Biliteracy. And so we are a multicultural, multilingual school district. So what is it like, what does it mean to be an East Brunswick student? Well, it means that you're scientific, you're persuasive, you're athletic, you are responsible for the environment, you are either participating in or have an appreciation for the arts, you're interested in a career, and you're involved in your community, you're civic-minded, and you're interested in government. That's what an East Brunswick student looks like. What does an East Brunswick teacher look like? They're constantly involved in professional development. Our teachers never stop being students. And the very cool thing about this is almost all of our professional development is delivered by teachers. Teachers become experts, and they train other teachers to become experts. There is no better way to create a strong educational environment than doing that. And our teachers are constantly involved in this. The catalog the board approves for professional development is extremely comprehensive. In this summer, our buildings will be filled with teachers learning something new. And you know what? When our newest teachers come into the district, late August, beginning of September, the new teacher orientation, we have very high expectations for them. And they know they have gone through an extensive screening process to even be able to work here. That alone says significantly a lot about the quality of people that you have working in your school district, and that's what you get for your tax dollars in East Brunswick Public Schools. So, one of the critical things that we've worked on this year is the connected classroom. What does it mean to have technology in the classroom? How do teachers utilize it? What about the infrastructure to support it? We have invested a lot of money, not only in the devices that the students have access to, but in the infrastructure that supports it. And you know, one of the most powerful devices that all of our students carry is this, their phone. And you realize the computing power in this phone, in all of your phones, is more than was used to put the first man on the moon. This device has more power. But one of the challenges we have as administrators and teachers is how do we use this power wisely? That is going to be a struggle and a constant source of work for us. But used wisely in the classroom, phones along with their own devices become very powerful learning tools. So, I always like to announce something new at every State of the District. Next year, we're about to jump off, and we have already committed to be a participant in Future Ready Schools. We have the school staff ready, and what that means is we are going to be a school district. When we say we're future ready, we're going to invest in the time and training to understand how to use our technology wisely and how to instruct students with that technology. So there's the hardware piece and the instructional piece that we have to merge together to give our students the best experience using technology. Now, we're preparing students for the 21st century and jobs in the 21st century. But one of the dilemmas that we have is we're preparing students for jobs that haven't been created yet. Many of these young men and women in this audience tonight will not go work for an established company. They will establish their own niche, wherever that is, their own business, their own company. Entrepreneurs, who knows? But it won't be what my parents knew. One of my dad's criticisms of me was, when I was young, was you stay with one company for your entire life. And you get a pension. no longer the case. People move multiple times. People don't even work in an office anymore. They telecommute. The world has changed dramatically and it will continue to change. We have to be prepared to prepare our students for that environment and to adapt to it. So to kick off what you're about to see, if you have the time, I encourage you to step into the cafeteria and see our innovations that are going on in the classrooms. We have students and talented teachers who are ready tonight to showcase things that they have found or discovered they've implemented in their classroom and they're passionate about. And what we've done is we created a digital dashboard, a comprehensive innovation dashboard on our website so we can share this information out. Teachers can go in and look at what other teachers are doing, and they can actually communicate with each other about questions they have about implementing that in their own classroom and share back and forth. And that's how we're going to grow as an organization. We're going to continue to share best practices with each other, and we're going to become bigger, stronger, better as an organization. So I think you'll be impressed by some of these tonight. We're going to continue to go on our website. You'll continue to see, we will populate different videos of the different innovations that are going on. And this will be ongoing as part of our practice in East Brunswick Public Schools. I'm really excited about what we've done this year. I want to thank the administrative team, the teachers, the Board of Education, and all of you who took the time to come out tonight to listen to kind of the report card of where we've been for the last year. It's really important to share with you, and I'm glad I didn't have to make a phone call. Thank you very much. And students will be ready for you in the Hammersholt cafeteria. Thanks and have a great evening.